I am from Colorado. We gotta talk about this weed thing, guys. We gotta talk about this legal weed thing. I am all for it, just because at least now everyone will shut the fuck up about it, you know? Because, like, I'm not, like, a weed guy. It just doesn't really do anything for me. Like, either that or it does just, like, way too much for me. You know, like, if I smoke weed, I'm either, like, a little bit dumber or I can hear my fingernails growing. You know? And all the time, people are like, oh, you just haven't found the right strain for you, you know? And I'm like, okay, in my experience, there's two strains. There's the one where I fall asleep, and there's the one where I quietly shriek before falling asleep. That's all there is. That's it. You guys gotta know, too, that, like, the only thing that happens when you legalize weed is that, you know, stoners have nothing left to talk about. Like, that's it. Literally, the day we legalized weed, all the potheads in Colorado were like, well, shit, that was pretty much our plans for the day. So, what are we gonna do now? How about we fix our roads and schools? And they did. It's the only time weed made everyone more productive. It was amazing. It's like legalizing weed was like we just had to get it out of the way so we could, like, do real shit, you know? Yes! Yeah, legalizing weed is like, it was like, for liberals, legalizing weed is like jerking off first thing in the morning, you know? Like, you just gotta do it so you can be productive, you know? And have a good day. That's it. It's great. I don't know, people worry, like, people always say, you know, if we legalize weed, there's gonna be more drugs in the hands of young people. But when you think about it, most weed dealers right now, as it stands, are 16-year-olds. Like, they have all of the weed. The pot shops will put them out of business. That's what we need. I currently buy weed from a kid named Zach, whose mom loves him way more than she should, you know? Legalizing weed is gonna ruin his business model. He's gonna have to sell his dirt bike. It's gonna happen. You know? Get his shit together. Also, like, it's not high schoolers you gotta worry about. It's like white moms and all of their friends, you know? They're the ones who are getting way too high. And I know this because I have a white mom and she has friends, okay? And they all have the exact same story, which is like, I took half of an edible, it didn't work in 20 minutes, so I took another edible, a whole one, and then I got so high I went into menopause 10 years early. Wild. Because the thing is, like, today's weed is like 70s weed on meth, you know? So they think that just because they smoked a couple groovy doobs back in the day means that they're ready to try a weed called Venom OG. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't happen that way. That's another thing. Have you noticed that they name the weeds like warnings of what's gonna happen to you? Like, you go into the dispensary and they're like, so this is our new strain. It's called Holy Shit, My Eyebrows Hurt. This next one is it's an indica sativa blend. It's called Neck Punch. You're gonna find out. You'll find out. And this last one over here is just called Ha Ha. That's the whole thing. That's it. Has anyone here ever, like, actually been in a dispensary? Yeah? It's like, so for those of you who have not, it's a lot. Like, it's wild. Like, you go in there and they make you, like, sit in a waiting room, and then a guy comes and gets you and he's like, hey, I'm Seth, I'm gonna be your KEO today. That's Kush Executive Officer. And you're like, which, by the way, I learned you do not need a business degree for that, just so you know. And then he, like, leads you through, he gives you, like, a tour of the shop. And he's like, here's our edibles, our drinkables, our lotions, our oils, our tinctures, our flowers. And you're like, dude, just fucking make me drive around the block with you and put it in a bag. I don't care. I just want, like, I get that it's legal, but make me feel like it's not, you know? That's what I want. feel like it's not. I don't know. I just don't know. Like, I don't know anything about weed. They need to make a dispensary for people like me that's just called, like, my brother's weird friend's dispensary. You know? And it's just like a guy in a parking lot, and he sells it out of his Celica. And it's just legal. That's what it is. Cool.